If you have been an F1 fan for a few years, since like 2020, you might have learned about a certain circuit called Portimao. It's a circuit in Portugal, I believe it's in the south of Portugal, where F1 used to race. And now it's more famous for having ELMS races and I believe other racing series on that track. It's a very nice uphill, downhill roller coaster circuit, which is very fun to drive. But back in the 80s, when Senna used to drive, there was another Portuguese circuit, much closer to their capital Lisbon, which was more famous. It's called Estoril, but in Automobilista 2, which is where we will be driving it, it's called Estoril, probably for legal purposes. But is it as good as Portimao? Can it challenge the holy Portimao? Or is it even better than Portimao? Well, that's what I'm going to try and find out today. So let's jump into Automobilista 2 and see how good of a circuit it is. Okay, so now we are now around Portimao in the final corner. I'm in Estoril. And this circuit is where actually where Senna got his first win. There's a trophy symbolizing Senna, or for Senna, right on the outside of the circuit. So there I braked a lot, quite too early, but still. And this circuit, it actually feels a bit like a version of Portimao. It feels like if somebody was talking about like that meme, saying like, "Oh mom, I want Portimao," and then your mom says, "Oh, we have Portimao at home." This feels like Portimao at home, because it is a bit up and down, it has a few chicanes, and it has an interesting sequence of corners. So I would say it handles a bit like Portimao, but not really like Portimao. It's a bit more unique than that. And soon, now we're getting into Sector 3. We're getting up to a layout. No, here starts the sequence, which I don't really like around Portimao, because you have this very twisty left and then you have to turn right abruptly. It feels very weird, that sequence of corners. I don't know why, but I just don't like it so much. And then this final corner is a long right-hander like Portimao, but a bit slower it seems, and a bit shorter. So in general, basically, this circuit is fun, and it does feel quite a bit like Portimao, but in my opinion, Portimao has it due to the undulation and the roller coaster feeling of it. But what this circuit has, which Portimao doesn't, is a historical layout, which after finishing this lap we will have a drive on in Senna's 98T. You can see here there are a lot of these long sweeping corners, which make for a bit of an awkward driving session when driving on the exit of corners. But now we get to this section, which in my opinion feels a bit weird, because if you overshoot the entry for one of the corners, then you get punished even further for the second corner. So I feel like that's a bit weird. And then this one, you can't really go flat out in these cars, which might not be optimal. But still, this circuit is actually very fun to drive. I would say it's maybe, I don't see it a lot in sim racing, and I would say it's a bit underused. But now let's head off to the historic layout in the 98T. Okay, so now we are in the Lotus 98T, which has quite a bit of power, but should also be quite fun to drive. Okay, so this corner used to be a lot longer and a lot quicker, as we can see here. Okay, so this car is a lot trickier to drive. But it seems like this circuit, yeah, it feels a bit less refined in a way, where the corners feel a bit more on edge. Like there! You saw me crash, but this layout feels quite fun actually. Maybe not specifically in this car because of the wheel spin, but because of these issues, let me just jump in a GT3 and let's have a drive. So now we're in the Lamborghini GT3 around old Estoril, or Cascades, or what you want to call it. So after driving the Lotus for that, like half a lap, I noticed, okay, so that was a little mistake again, but the corners feel less refined because, like there, it feels very weird, these corners, because they feel quite open at the start, but then they get quite twisty, and I mean, they tighten up a bit. Like here, it feels open, but it isn't. Then obviously, in cars with a lot more area, this would be a lot easier. But this corner feels a lot better in this layout. Then this, you just lead into this one corner, you head off to the other side. Feels a bit like Barcelona, this section, but uphill instead of downhill. Which I don't know if it's good or bad. But let's see. They're just driving this car a bit. And this is a tighter corner to just drive on down here. And then you have to open up a bit. Feels a bit, I don't know how to call it, maybe a bit like the corner before the long straight in Shanghai. But you can easily lose the rear here. But that twisty corner before this one feels a lot like the Shanghai one before the long straight, where you have to, that one you have to really open up the steering and then just be gentle on the throttle. Whilst here it's a bit the same. I feel like there is I think it's maybe Bahrain International, Sakir, where that issue is, where there is a similar corner. Because I feel like there is a similar, but I can't really name it. There are a lot of those, which I call awkward corners, where they are really tight, and then the radius just opens up quite quickly on exit. Okay, so maybe not pushing with, maybe pushing with some damage isn't the best. Let's see if I can go here. Oh, I can. So it has this inner area, which is interesting. Oh, what was that? I saw something. Let's have a look. Let's hope I can go through here. Wait, I can't? Are they really saying that I can't? Oh God. So now I can't go there, which is where I wanted to go. Oh well. Let's just head off. So, Cascais. Is it a good circuit? Yes. Is it better than Portimao? In my opinion, no, not really. But it should be driven more. It's a very fun circuit, actually. And this, when you learn it, it's bloody brilliant. But what do you think? Comment down below. Once you're done, please hit the like button and also subscribe. My next video, we'll have to see what my next video is on, because hopefully, by the time I upload this video, it should be close. It should be close to the release of the next Automobilista 2 update, which seems to have the Aston Martin cars, which I talked about in one of my previous videos. And also, it seems like it's been hinted on now by a dev in Discord that they might include the Alpine GT4, the A110, which is quite an interesting car. But hopefully, those things arrive in time for me to make a very good video on it for you. But until then, I've been Racing Legend, you've been my amazing fans. Thank you for watching. Goodbye!